new lesson number 2, mathematical methods. In this lesson, we are going to deal physics with the help of mathematics. So, when actually we discuss what is physics, then we say that it is the study, analysis, and mathematical argument represented in a proper manner. Then we consider it as what? Physics. So, mathematics is one of the most important part when we deal with physics. So, in this lesson, we are going to learn about mathematical methods. So, what are the mathematical methods? First, we shall clear about one important term called scalar and vectors. So basically, when we are dealing with the terms called scalar and vector, then at the same instant, we should remember the previous lesson, that is units and measurements also. As you know that when we discuss anything, then that anything can be considered as what? The physical quantity. So the physical quantities, already we have learned that divided into two types. Which are the two types again? The fundamental quantity and the derived quantity. So these are the actually types of the physical quantities. But these are some important characteristics on the basis of which we decide whether the quantity is scalar or vector. So fundamental quantity also can be a scalar along with derived quantity, or fundamental and derived quantity both can be vectors also. So to discuss this, what are exactly scalars? First we will start with scalar. Now to learn scalar, suppose simply I say that I want to calculate mass of any object. So mass of object when to be measured, then to measure the mass I need only the weighing instrument which we call weighing machine, okay, or spring weighing machine, whatever the instrument we are using. So however we are using the mass of object, that mass can be utilized directly. So to find the mass, we do not need we don't need to find the direction where the mass can be find out, or where the mass can be signified. So here I say to measure the mass, only the value of that quantity is enough so that I can get complete idea about mass of object. I do not need any kind of direction of that object. So if I want to find out mass of any spherical object, if this is a sphere, and if I want to find out mass of that spherical object, so however I have kept it, its mass say m is equals to say 500 gram, then how you hang it, how you suspend it, it does not make it any kind of difference to measure the mass of the object. So when we discuss what is physical quantity, then already you know that when we measure anything, then that measurement leads the term as physical quantity. So what are the scalars? Then scalars are the physical quantities. Scalars are what? The physical quantities which can be completely described by its magnitude or only magnitude. Did you understand? Here the quantity which can be completely described by its magnitude only, then we say that the quantities are called scalar. For example, mass of object, length of the object, temperature, intensity of light. Such quantities do not depend upon direction. Then the quantities are called as what? Scalars. Then there are some quantities. To describe them, without a direction it is difficult to describe them. For example, in a 10th standard you have learned that when a current is passing through any circular coil, a magnetic field is generated around that coil, or current is passing through any conductor, then magnetic field is generated around the conductor. So if suppose this is the direction of current, say current is flowing in a upward direction, say current I flows in a upward direction. So here magnetic field is produced. You know that magnetic field lines are produced like a circular ring. So here what should be the direction of that magnetic field lines? So to indicate that we use right hand thumb rule. So using that right hand thumb rule I can say that magnetic lines of forces are going in this direction, that is they are going either in a clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. So I use the word direction to explain the term called magnetic field. Then the terms which are used or described with the help of magnitude as well as the direction, then the fundamental or the physical quantity that can be completely described by its magnitude as well as direction, then the quantity is called as what? The vector. So which quantities needs magnitude as well as direction? Then I will say here, for example, weight, because you know that weight is always directed downwards. Magnetic field, electric field, then velocity, acceleration, force. These are quantities which completely depends upon the magnitude as well as direction. So if I want to describe the force, if suppose I am having a cupboard, that cupboard is to be shifted from one place to another place. Suppose there is a cupboard at my home and I want to shift that cupboard. So I need to apply the force definitely. So if this cupboard is to be shifted by certain distance from say its initial position A to B. So I want to shift that cupboard to say this point. Then to shift this cupboard, say I have started applying force by pushing the cupboard towards this side. Then I have to decide the direction to explain. Here I should know the particular magnitude of force. I should realize the magnitude of force which I needed there. But along with that, I should properly define the direction also. Otherwise, it would be quite difficult to move that cupboard from the expected location to desired location. So here I will say that cupboard is moved from one place to another place. Then its direction was very important. Okay, so this was the introduction of vector and scalar, that what we are going to start in this lesson. Basically everything is given in the same. You will need certain mathematical tool to understand the topics covered in this book. Vector analysis and elementary calculus are two among these. The- You will learn calculus in details in mathematics in 12th standard. What is calculus, that we will discuss in some next part. In this chapter you are going to learn about vector analysis and will have a preliminary introduction to calculus which should be sufficient for you to understand the physics that we are going to learn in this book. So what is vector? Vector analysis, here I will say some physical quantities which can completely described by magnitude are called as what? The scalar. They can be completely described with magnitude alone, whereas some other physical quantities which are called vectors need to be described with magnitude as well as what? Direction. So here we are going to learn about the vectors in a detail. Okay, so how vector, suppose I want to represent force, then force is a vector quantity and shall be written by showing f and arrow on its head. So this type of representation of quantity is called as the vector. So here I would say I know the certain magnitude of force is applied into certain direction. So if I write this in a modulus, that F modulus, then this will give the value of force what is going to apply there. So magnitude should be written in a modulus sign so that we can get magnitude only. That's what given here in a textbook also. So vector can be represented by drawing an arrow like this. Okay, P is called starting point and Q or the tail will be considered as what? End point. Arrowhead can be taken as tail there. We can write vector PQ can be represented as PQ and arrow is raised on its head. Symbolically, vectors are also represented by single capital letter like vector x, vector a. It should be written like vector. Magnitude of vector x can be written as modulus of x. Okay. There are several types of vector. First is the zero vector. Vector having zero magnitude. So I want to push the cupboard. I have decided where it to push, but I have not applied the actual value of force. Then the direction is fixed, but I did not apply the actual given value of magnitude. Then we can consider it as what? Zero vector. Magnitude of vector is zero here. So velocity of vector of stationary particle at is a zero vector. Acceleration vector of an object moving with uniform velocity is a zero vector. Resultant vector. So what is resultant vector here? If suppose I am having two velocities, say vector v1 directed along certain axis and vector v2, velocity vector v2 directed along another axis. Then combination of them, that is addition or subtraction, then it will give you new vector, new value of vector, say it is vector v. Then this vector v can be considered as the resultant vector. So the new vector obtained by combination or adjustments of two or more than two vectors, then it is called as resultant vector. Of two or more than vector is that single vector which produce of same effect as produced by all of the vectors together. Like suppose number of people are pushing any car, so they are applying force. Say first have applied force F1 along the certain same, second have applied the force F2 in the same direction. Magnitude of those forces are different. So the resultant force acting on the car is, say, F is equals to vector F is equals to F1 plus F2. Vector F is equals to F1 plus F2. And this is more important term to learn here. Equal vectors or first negative vectors. Two vectors of equal magnitude but opposite direction. Here you can see one is directed towards left, another directed towards right. So they are of equal value and they are opposite direction, then they are called as what? Negative vector. Equal vectors. Two vectors having equal magnitude and they are directed along same line also, then they are called as equal vector. Position vector. So vector which is drawn to check whether you are lying in the certain path, certain space, then we call it as a position vector. For example, suppose this is xy plane, you are traveling in a xy plane and this is a point P, indicates that you are lying at distance x from x-axis and at distance y from y-axis. But what should be your position from origin? Then if I draw imaginary line from O to P, then that imaginary line vector OP will give you the actual position of that object. Then OP can be considered as a position vector. OP can be considered as what? A position vector. So in short, a vector which is used to describe the position of object, then it is called as what? The position of vector. Okay. So, and the last is unit vector. The vector having unit magnitude, that means its magnitude is 1 only. So multiplication and division of this vector to another vector does not make any changes, then it is called a what? Unit vector. It plays very important role. About this we are going to learn in detail. Okay, so how to find out that unit vector also we are going to learn in next part. Till this I think you have understood. Thank you.